Hey guys, my name is Beth, and I know we normally talk about reviews for books and things that I'm writing, or a tag like the pasta tag I'll be uploading in a little while, but today I want to talk to you about something a little more serious. This topic has been on my mind and on my heart for a really long time, but I felt like maybe it wasn't the right time to share my thoughts on this. And then in the past few days, I've seen several videos on the topic and thought that I would maybe share my views and go ahead and take this opportunity. If you don't like it, that's fine. You can leave me a message down below telling me why, or just don't say anything at all. Any of your thoughts, any ideas that you have, please feel free to leave them down below, to message me, whatever it is that you feel the need to do. So let's get into it. I am quite possibly the last person who you would imagine should be doing a video on diversity in literature. I am a middle class white woman in her early 30s, and I have no reason to need more diversity other than the fact that the world is not, in fact, made up of young adult to adult middle aged white people. It is not made up of people who are straight, people who are conservative, people who are me. The world is made up of all sorts of beautiful colors and traditions and beliefs. Mine is not the only one. And yes, I am pretty conservative. I do typically believe when I see a video that says diversity discussion or a blog post that says diversity in YA, I believe I know what you're going to discuss. And I'm typically about 95% right. There are some trigger words that just start everybody going, and we have these huge discussions about them. They talk about the need for more women in literature, they talk about the need for more colors, more settings for different age groups, for people with disabilities, for people from the LGBTQ community. And of this list that I just gave you, this list that we constantly discuss needing more representation for, I am only one of those things. I am a woman. I do not have a disability. I'm quite obviously a very pale shade of white. I am from the southern United States. I'm a Christian living in the Bible Belt. The closest to all of this diversity that I can say that I have is that I am a single mother. And really, in this day and age, that's not that diverse. However, I'm also an author, and I keep hearing the same thing from people of all these different communities. Why don't authors just make really cool characters and then have them be of a different nationality, a different color, a different sexual orientation? Make them be transgendered, make them be disabled. So here's my question to you. Do you know what it's like to be those things? If not, how can you expect to write them in a believable, acceptable way so that those of their community and not of the community will all accept that character and love that character? I can't do it. I know that there are some authors who are amazing, who can do the research and find people to interview and observe and discuss things with and create characters so intensely multi layered and believable that the community of disabled people or of LGBTQs or of that nationality, etc., accept the character as one of their own, and the outside communities do as well. However, for every one of those authors, there are 10 like Jojo Moyes, who is currently being chopped up and raked across the coals because of a character that the community did not believe was acceptable for the entire community. Jojo Moyes is getting just hammered about having this disabled character who does not fully represent the disabled community. Well, of course not. It's one character. But you can't have it both ways. You can't be part of literature and have every character be somebody that you love. And especially in the case of things like the LGBTQ community or this disabled community, where you're so loud about needing to be included, then when the publishers hear you and actively seek out authors in order to write books about the disabled community or about gays, about transgenders, then what you get is a lot of coming out stories or stories about how you're rising above your particular disability, but the community has already passed the need for that and they have moved on to something else entirely. And so now what they needed and begged for has become a trope that they're tired of. But they don't see all of the time that it took for it to get into publishing, for them to get the book written, for it to be handled. What they're seeing is this influx of something they no longer need, like the teenaged coming out stories. In Richard's video about diversity in the middle grades, he discussed how we need more diversity, specifically for LGBTQ books, and how it would help so many children. And he also wondered why more people don't just have characters like that. Well, for Richard and Jessica and Jordan and everybody else who was commenting and who I responded to, everyone who wanted to know the answer. Like I said, I'm a straight white woman living in the Bible Belt. I do not believe that my characters would come across in a way that would help somebody. I would never ever want to write a character that would be an embarrassment to the community or a hindrance to a child, someone that would be stereotypical or a generalized version of the community. And that doesn't just go for LGBTQ, that goes for all of the different things that we need more diversity in. However, I want you guys to remember and understand that middle grade books specifically, because that's what Richard's video was about, they are for children who are of the ages of about 8 or 9 to about 12. They are not meant to be heavy hitting books. Yes, they cover some heavy hitting topics, but most of them cover things like you're about to hit puberty or your family's falling apart, because in the day and age that we have, those are the things kids need more. Most kids of those age groups are not worried about whether they like the boy or the girl next to them. They're worried about whether they're going to have clean clothes and food to eat. They're worried about which parent's going to be at home if there's going to be another fight. They're worried about whether or not they got grounded so they can play their Xbox. There are so many different things for them to be worried about that in that age group, all of the body changes are just one more thing to add on to it. And it's when you get to the YA and above section that the issues of coming out of sexuality really hit the vast majority of them. And yes, I know that there are some younger children who have those issues, but that is typically because it is something that has been noticed and discussed more often at home as well. So, all that being said, I don't write them because I don't want to create a character where it could hinder those children or those young adults or even an adult reading it, where it could make you feel poorly about yourself unless you are already a terrible person. My books should never trigger something in you that makes you feel horribly about yourself. Because as an author, it is my job to create worlds that you can disappear into. And yes, literature has a place in the world where it helps you to figure out how to survive and helps you figure out how to handle situations, but it does not necessarily have to teach you by giving you the exact same thing that you're going through, because you're already going through that. You want to escape from that world for a little while. And so my worlds are built for you to disappear into and to live and to help rebuild you, not to destroy you. I know that I have rambled and reiterated and gone on for the past 10 minutes about this, and I really appreciate you guys sticking with me and listening to my thoughts on this topic. Remember, if you've got anything to say or anything to link, please do so down below. This should be an open and honest forum for everybody's ideas, and I appreciate and love every single one of you. I will see you again soon.